When do you intervene when someone else is being attacked? Well, whatever you do, you want to make up your mind in advance. This is Hainan province in China in April last year. Check this out. There's no sound in this recording. It's at 1 a.m. 3 a.m. in the morning? 1 minute past 3 in the morning. So it's right in the middle of the night here. Oh. Oh, I wish these guys were wired up for sound and I could speak fluent Mandarin. I really want to know how this one ends, but it stops there. Alright, let's play that again. So it begins in this lift. Apparently this guy who's attacking the woman is her boyfriend, but it's very difficult to have guessed that if you were the security guard who intervenes. He's doing something to her on the floor of this lift at 3 a.m. in the morning. What he's doing and why he's doing it in an open lift is very, very difficult to guess. But whatever it is, it's not good and it needs to be stopped. He looks like one of those bloody vampires from Blade. You know, one of those things with the big open fang mouths where they sort of eat the people on the floor, right? She has a foot in the door and the foot probably saves her life. The security guard comes in to intervene. Now, he looks like a middle-aged man and he's on the back foot. He starts like looking on his walkie-talkie or his phone, and then the guy on the floor just gets up and starts attacking him. He eats a couple of shots here, so it just shows how important it is to have chin. He reminds me of Lee, one of my students, who actually looks quite a bit like him. So he eats a couple of these shots, and then he gets going, right? So he takes a couple of them, and then he gets going, holds this guy by the throat, and starts to punch him himself. And you know, full credit to him. The man he's fighting is much younger. Could be as much as half his age. Woman runs, she escapes, so she lives. Thank goodness. Yeah, this guy seems to be just posting. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. So I would say he's probably drunk, right? Here, knees him. Love the gorilla smash to the back of the head. Knees him. The lift door closes. Now he looks away. Pause. That's really, really important. I would say that if this lift door closes, at this point, if I were in his position, I'd be hitting this guy until he was unconscious. I would not take my eyes off him in any way, shape or form. Bearing in mind, he doesn't know what this guy has in his pockets. He doesn't know if he accesses something in his right hand, which is by the wall, whether he takes it out and stabs him. He's got no help. He's an older guy, and he doesn't have time to call for backup, right? So I would not be taking my eyes off him in any way, shape or form to fiddle with the buttons on the lift door. I would be pounding this guy till he's unconscious. Yeah, and he's just telling him off and kicks him. I mean, yeah, don't talk to him and kick him and hit him, just, yeah, finish him. Bearing in mind, I mean, even a supine British jury, which is really tired of being on jury service for a couple of weeks, they are likely to have some sympathy for you if you're in this situation, right? You are going to be saying that you're rescuing someone who's just been attacked. She's probably going to be a witness who's going to help you out. You are middle-aged, you're alone in this lift, you've got a wife and a kid to get back to yourself. This guy seems to be crazy and is doing something terrible to her on the floor. You needed to finish him because you didn't know what he might do to you or whether he had some kind of weapon on him. So if I were this guy, I would even argue that even in the UK with our laws over here, that I would have had a legitimate excuse to have actually pressed this fight and finished him. This is important. So he comes to this woman's rescue and just lays a beating on this guy. let's leave this replaying in the background. Every self-defense trainee needs to make the decision in advance what they're going to do if they're in this position. This guy, it helps him because he's a security guard and he's kind of assumed the responsibility to take care of other people, right? But say if you're just someone who's passing by and then you come across the scene, what are you going to do? And you want to think about this in advance, because when you first start in self-defense, you're thinking about defending yourself. After a little while, you're starting to think about, well, can I defend other people, right? And in this case, does it make a difference if you know the woman? Does it make a difference if the woman is much younger? Say it's a girl. What if the woman is much older? What if they might know each other? What if they definitely don't know each other, so they're very different from each other? Does it make a difference if there's two male attackers? Does it make a difference if they're using some kind of weapon on her, so they could then use that weapon on you? Does it make a difference if you have someone with you? Does it make a difference if you have a young son or you've got a young daughter on the way, for instance, and that matches the description of, say, two of my students at the moment? Would that change your calculation in terms of how you would intervene in a situation like this? It's really important to run through all the possible scenarios in your head, because you just never know exactly what the hell you're going to have to do and what you're going to be faced with. And you're going to have to make a call in a split second whether you're going to get involved or not, at potentially the risk to your life. You may decide as you begin, and maybe because you're a very small person, that you're just never going to get involved in something like this. You're just going to be more of a liability than you are going to be an asset. You would just run and use the phone. Other people, if it was me, I'm just going to start laying waste to this dude here, like this guy here does in this circumstance. But I'm going to finish him. It's a completely unique decision, but it's one that I really strongly recommend that you make in advance. So give it some thought, run through some different scenarios, and get your head straight, so that if you ever do see something like this, you know what you're going to do in advance. Peace.